Hello everybody, today we're going to be talking about food packaging. So when you go to the store to buy a snack or buy groceries, would you buy a mystery box? Most of the time people are probably like, no, I would want to know what's in my food. But occasionally, maybe if it was inexpensive or your curiosity just got the better of you, you might buy something like that. So for the most part, when you look at the package, there's a lot of things that should be there. And one is definitely what is actually in that package. You want to know if you're buying Fruit Loop cereal or Raisin Bran. And that can be very important for any product to be able to sell. The other thing that can be very important is a lot of food products will have pictures. It kind of entices you. It looks good. It makes you hungry. It makes you want to eat that food. And of course, in areas where there's really low reading levels, they may really depend on that picture to know what's in the product. Another thing that you'll want to find, and that will need to be on a food package, is the weight. You want to know how much you're getting, how much is actually inside that can or the box or bag. And then you want to know who made it. So usually on the front there is a brand name, but then somewhere in the fine print they should have the contact information for that company. So the one on the bottom, you can see that they have an address, they have their phone number, and they have countrycrock.com. So you could, if you had problems or questions, you could easily get a hold of that company. Now, sometimes the product is made by a company, but then distributed by another company. Most of the time, that's going to be store brand products. So at the top, you have distributed by Aldi's. You may see distributed by Walmart or distributed by Target. In those cases, those companies, Walmart doesn't make every product that has a Walmart brand label on it. They hire other companies to make it and put their label on it. So they field the questions for those products, and that's why it says distributed by. The nutrition labels, we'll be talking more about that, but for your nutrition labels, that's going to give you an idea of how much of the vitamins and minerals that you would be getting from that food. Now, it is per serving, so you have to watch to see what your serving size is to make sure that what you're eating lines up with what you're getting, or what you're getting, you can figure that from what you're eating. And so it gives you the calories, it gives total fat, and it gives a percentage for the day of those nutrients that you need of what you're getting. Ingredients are going to be on the package. Now, usually those are located very close to the nutrition facts panel, but they are not a nutrition facts requirement. They just have to be somewhere on the package. Those are listed in order of the amount present in that product. So the ingredient that appears the most in that product will be listed first, with the ingredient that has just a little bit will be listed last. So with our Tidy Grams on the right, you've got gram flour, whole grain wheat flour, that is listed first. So there's more whole grain wheat flour than any other ingredient in that food. The one on the left, milled corn, is listed first. So of course there's more milled corn than any other ingredient in that product. Ingredients can be really important for some people if they have some sort of allergy or sensitivity. They may need to read through the ingredients to make sure they're not getting something they can't have. And of course, allergy warnings are present, but they are usually limited to the 8 most common food allergies. So you might see something like contains soy, egg, and milk ingredients, or processed in the same factory as something with tree nuts, or it could even say allergy warning, contains peanuts. So the 8 most common food allergies that you typically see for those allergy warnings are peanuts, shellfish, tree nuts, wheat, soy, fish, eggs, and milk. And of course there are some too that give allergy safety promotions on their product, made in a peanut-free factory, or nut-free or soy-free, so that people with allergies know that it would be a safe product for them. Expiration dates, you want to know if your product's still good before you buy it, and how long it's going to last. And there is some confusion with the way that they are worded, because there's a lot of different ways that those dates are put on packages. If it says sell by, that means it's made, that's really only for the grocery stores, to know that after that date, they need to take it off their shelves. But as a consumer, you can buy that product on that last day and it's still good. And you have time to actually use it before it goes bad. If it says use by, that does have to do with safety. So if it says use by this date, after that date, you'd want to get rid of it because it wouldn't be a safe product for you. Expires on, again, a safety issue. It would go bad on that date. Best before is more of taste. So if you use it before that date, it's going to taste better. If you use it after, it's not necessarily unsafe, it's just not as good of quality. Better if used by, same idea. It's about quality of the product. And best by, again, is about quality of the product. So if you choose to eat that product before that date, it's going to taste better than if you eat it afterwards. Barcodes will be on the product. You, of course, have seen the cashier scan that to ring it up and know the price of the product. But they also can be, especially for some bigger companies, used to help with knowing their stock of their products. So do they need to order more? Is it running low? And so that can go into that computer system from the barcode that's scanned when you purchase the product. Now, all of those things have to be on the product somewhere. But sometimes they also have a product claim, basically telling you that their product is healthier in some way than their competitors. And it used to be that those product claims weren't really regulated, and there's still some that aren't regulated. But it came to a point where the FDA said, we can't mislead customers. Here are some regulations as to what the product has to meet to be able to make those claims. So things like fat-free and sugar-free all have some things that you should be able to compare your nutrition label to find out if they meet those criteria. So something like free, so sugar-free, fat-free, cholesterol-free, they all are going to have a certain nutritional value that they need to follow. So fat-free, sugar-free, they have to be less than 0.5 grams of fat or sugar. So you should be able to check that again on the nutrition label. Calorie-free, it has to have less than 5 calories. Cholesterol-free, less than 2 milligrams of cholesterol. And sodium-free, less than 5 grams of sodium. If it's low, then you want it to have just a little bit. So a low-calorie food would have 40 calories or less. Low-fat, 3 grams or less. Low cholesterol, 20 milligrams or less. Low sodium, 140 milligrams or less. Reduced or less is looking at a comparison from the regular version. So if you have the reduced fat Jif peanut butter, it should have 25% less fat than the regular Jif peanut butter. Same thing with the ketchup. If it's reduced sugar, you should be able to look at the nutrition label and see that it has at least 25% less sugar than the regular Heinz ketchup. Same thing with the fruit snacks. It should have that 25% reduced less sugar. Now, light is one that really could be something that in the past has been a little tricky, maybe a little misleading. Usually, when you buy a light product, what do you think of? Probably that it's a diet product. It's better for you. Well, one of the reasons that things started to become regulated was that companies would make something lighter in color and say that it was a light version. Not exactly what consumers were thinking they were getting. So for light, they have to have 50% less calories or 1/3 less fat, not lighter in color. High in fiber, high in protein, you want that product to contain at least 20% or more of the daily value of those nutrients. A good source of contains 10 to 19% of the daily value. So the Pop-Tarts on the right, it says it's a good source of 6 vitamins and minerals and a good source of 4 B vitamins. So if you look at that label, thiamine, there's 10%. That's a B vitamin. Riboflavin is another B vitamin. There's 10% there. Niacin, again, is a B vitamin that has 10%. And B6, it has 10%. So those all meet that requirements to be a good source of. And so that is something that you can check very easily. Same thing with the eggs. It's a good source of vitamin B2, B5, and so they're making those claims and should be able to support them. Excellent source of has to contain at least 20% of the daily value of that nutrient. So the Total Raisin brand is an excellent source of calcium, excellent source of fiber, excellent source of whole grain. And so again, should have at least 20% of the daily value on their nutrition label. The Bran Flakes, excellent source of 8 vitamins and minerals. So you should be able to count that and know that there are 8 different ones that meet that requirement. It also says it's an excellent source of fiber, so it has quite a bit of nutritional value to it. More fortified, enriched added. It should have added to that product. That company needs to add more nutrients to that product, and that should be at least 10% or more of the daily value than the regular product. And that can only be used with vitamins and minerals and protein and fiber, things that are healthy for you that you should be getting more of. So like the enriched bread usually is enriched with things like the B vitamins. Lean is looking at having your meat that has less fat. So lean, it should have 10 grams or less fat, at least 4.5 grams of saturated fat or less, and 95 milligrams of cholesterol or less. And then if it says extra lean, it should be even lower, so less than 5 grams of fat, less than 2 grams of saturated fat, and less than 95 milligrams of cholesterol. So that should be something that, again, you can check with and make sure that it is a lean product. Definitely something to be educated about so you know what you're buying. And so we'll be looking at some different packaging and different food labels to make sure that things are, get some practice of making sure things are meeting those needs and know whether they are healthy or not. As always, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask, and have a wonderful day.